Yo, Gamer Name here. So now with the entire roster now confirmed, I think we all have an idea of which characters we shall all be playing, or which characters interest us, or which characters we are going to main in this game. And for me, even after the new characters have been shown, they've been revealed, their command list, their movesets, everything about the characters we know now, Raven is still the character that catches my eye. So first of all, if you guys know me, you know the two main characters I main in this game have always been Lars and Steve. But Raven for me in Tekken 8 is looking at the character I'll put in the most time. So this video is more about the discussion on Raven, how good I think he is, his overall game plan, and how he stands out against the rest of the roster in terms of just how good he is, his hit compared to the rest of the characters, and just everything about Raven. So if you love some Raven, then bro, this is a video for you. So let's get right into it. Right, so Nemi, why Raven? Of all the characters, why pick Raven? Now, I've always loved Raven since his introduction back in Tekken 5, but what really stands out for me in Tekken 8 is the rework with his shadow clones, bro. Like, Raven is so fun to watch and he's so fun to play. Very difficult character to play, don't get me wrong, but landing those shadow clones and just looking at the shadow clones on the screen, it's a different level of satisfaction. I can't really explain it, but it's so fun. It's so fun. When I saw that trailer, bro, I knew that this is a character I would definitely most likely put time in learning and just getting good with the character. So his overall clone jutsu, like, it's so good, right? It's so good, it's eye-catching. That's really what sold me, you know, on the character in Tekken 8. And secondly, what I really love about Raven as well is that every Raven main is different. There is no really one way to play Raven. You can express yourself differently with this character, alright? It's kind of like Xiaoyu and kind of like Hwoarang. You don't see every Xiaoyu or Hwoarang player play exactly the same. They are very different. It's different with Lars, right? Lars is a strong character, don't get me wrong, he's fun, but you kind of play him the same, honestly, right? Lars mains do the same thing, but with Raven, the crouch dash, the cancels, back turn stuff, you express the character differently, and that's what I really like about the character as well. And most of all, he is a difficult character, and I want to master that aspect of the character. Having a difficult character is just, then mastering the character is very satisfying. And considering the fact that Tekken 8 has had a lot of simplification on characters like low slide, right? Kazuya, of course, people complain about Kazuya mix-up. A lot of things have been simplified in Tekken 8, but Raven still remains as a very high ceiling character in terms of difficulty, and that's what's kind of calling to me, right? I know Steve is the same, and that's why I love Steve as well. Satisfaction of mastering your character is really amazing. And lastly, the hit mechanic is amazing, right? Having enhanced clones and become safe, meaning you can just spam that stuff, is what really makes this character even more fun to play, and that's why I have chosen Raven to be my most likely main for Tekken 8. Dude, I love this character, and honestly I'm tired of being Copium, right? I just have to play him and just see how good he really is and how fun he is, you know, when everything, because it's not the final build, guys. This is pre-release, so we don't know what will change in the next game, so we just have to wait. But overall, those are the reasons why I have chosen Raven particularly as my, you know, potential main for Tekken 8. So how good do I think Raven actually is in Tekken 8, and just how does he compare against the rest of the Tekken 8 cast? So let's talk about Raven's strong points, strengths and weaknesses, and just see what I think and how good I think he'll be in Tekken 8. So firstly, Raven's game plan is he's a mix-up character. Like, I don't care who you are, Raven will mix the shit out of you, honestly. And that's his biggest strength, his ability to mix, right? And there's no one particular way to mix your opponent up. I spoke about expressing yourself with this character, and that's where the mix-ups come in, right? Like, let your mind go crazy with how you mix up your opponent. So one of his biggest, you know, game plans is his tornado sweep, the law, right? This law is insane, especially with the fact that it now goes into automatic stance, soul zone. It forces you into that stance, and that stance has so many mix-ups. There's a mid, the ground hitting low, you can just cancel into like back turn, you can cancel to crouch, so the possibilities are endless. So this is his game plan when it comes to like mix-ups mostly. And what makes this move scary is the mid that he has. So this mid is while standing 3, it goes into an automatic screw. It is -14 on block, so in neutral it's risky against characters with 14 frame launchers, don't get me wrong, But where it comes in and where it makes Raven such a strong character in Tekken 8 is hit mode. This move becomes safe in hit. It basically becomes -3, right? You can still move, you can still sidestep afterwards. So he has a safe launcher from crouch as well, right? This, without a doubt, makes him the scariest full crouch mix-up character in the game. Like free, right? Tornado Disaster, low X the mid that launches on normal hit, -3, safe, nani? So low was, his slide was made easy, but all he gets is a nunchuck from his slide, right? He doesn't have a good mid launcher unless he goes for outstanding 2, which is launch punishable, so not as good as Raven. Even in hit, it's not the same. Shaheen was given a new, I think it's a high, that's the thing, it's a high from hit that screws on normal hit as well. But it's a high. I didn't understand that change, right? So he has the slide, which was buffed, gives a guaranteed hit on knockdown, but he has this huge move from crouching as well, which is a high though. So I don't get the logic on this. So not really as strong as Raven, as you can see. Then lastly, Lee, his slide was nerfed. He doesn't knock down anymore, but it is a bit safer. But he has outstanding 2-4, which is not safe. Outstanding 2-4, which is second hit, is a high. Outstanding 2-3 is not safe. So again, not the same as Raven in hit. So this is what makes Raven so scarier in Tekken 8, is a game plan with his full crouch mix-up. Not only that, his backdown is scary as well. He has a slide which is very, very unreactable due to the moves that he has from this back turn, right? He has forward 4-3, that low, which is a quick low, unreactable, so people expect Raven to do that, so you can just do the slow slide instead to kind of mix up their timing, and it launches as well. He has 4, which is a new mid, which is a hit engager, so in hit it becomes a launcher, right? He has back 2, he has confirm 2-1, hit confirm, or counter hit confirm, sorry. In hit again with the clone, that's more damage, so he's a scary character when it comes to mix-ups, very, very scary, but of course with strengths comes weaknesses. Raven is very, very susceptible to pressure, right? His defensive tools are not that great. So he does have a parry, a punch parry, which is back 2+4 or back 1+3. Of course, he just gets away from the offense. So it's kind of good because it kind of cancels out mix-ups. For example, if let's say you get Jin down forward 1-4, right, into forward 4 is kind of a frame trap, so you can always just press the clone and cancel out that mix-up, right? I can give a lot of examples, or maybe even Tekken 7 with Master Raven, Eddie Rage Drive puts in a 50-50 mix-up, right? But with Raven, if you do the clone or the parry, you get out of that situation, right? So you don't have to guess because of that parry. So it's really good, but it's very, very situational, but it has a very large parry window as well, so it's a good parry, don't get me wrong. Again, it's just defensive, you just back up, right? Can't turn it into offense, right? He has a very good backswing blow, back 1+2, which is very good. Like, this thing is almost invincible. Even at +8, you can still do it. So it will get escape from a lot of mix-ups, especially like hit smashers, right? Into 50-50. If anything is +8, you can get away from that shit. So it's going to be really good. He has the punch parry as well, back 2. This one is very good as well, but the timing is very strict and it's risky because if you whiff that, bro, he's doing the whole thing on whiff and you're getting launched, bro. Like, so you have to be really, really smart on how you use it. 1-1 counter hit confirm was nerfed. It's now 1-2-4. Very difficult to counter hit confirm. But overall, he does have some good defensive tools, but not as great as someone like Feng or, you know, Leroy or Steve. So, but it's still good. Honestly, it's good. You know, his backflip was nerfed as well. He goes into souls on stance, so it locks you into stance. A smart player can punish that. Not as good as M Raven in Tekken 7 to cover space. So his defensive stuff was kind of knocked in a way, but it's better than a lot of characters in this game. And lastly, his punishment is not good as well. It doesn't have a 15 frame launcher. You have to go for forward 4 for 15 frames. He does have a 14 frame launcher from while standing now. Doesn't have a 13 frame punish from while standing. You know, his laws are very slow and are not that great on hit in terms of frame data. You know, down back 4 is reactable. Down 4 is good, but not that good on hit. The frames are not that good. Down 3 as well. Back turn forward 4-3 is launch punishable. Low high. Tornado Disaster the sweep, of course, is launch punishable on block as well. So you have to use Raven in a very, very smart way. You can't just spam lows. You can't spam anything really with Raven. It's just a matter of mixing up your opponent and making hard reads. And that's what makes this character so difficult to play. It's you have to be very smart when using this character. So how good does he compare against the rest of the cast? So to talk about how good Raven is, I'll talk about the hit mode as well. Like I said, guys, the hit is really good because of that launching mid, which is safe on block. So the idea with Raven's hit is that he gains meter, so he gains his bar back every time he lands a clone on hit. So this changes your game plan entirely. Once you're in hit, you want to do as many clone moves as possible, and this includes combos as well. So even at the wall, your max damage combo will change from, like, you know, back turn 3+4 to upward 3+4 4-2. That changes, and you should add a clone attack at the wall to just regain some hit as well. So I made a video sometime back during the CBT on how I thought the clones should have been plus, and I was so wrong because that's not how Raven is supposed to be used. I thought the clones are supposed to be used for pressure when actually they're just supposed to be used for mix-up, right? Mental frames, thinking your opponent should think you would do a move that will end up with a clone attack at the end. Like mix up, like would they expect a clone or they don't expect a clone? That's the way you're supposed to use Raven. But for me, it all ties into that full crouch mix-up, right? So I was standing 3 into the screw, and the tornado sweep is really what the clone, you know, hit is all about. And down forward 1 as well into clone is really good, like a really good whiff punisher, a really good punish because it's what, 13 frames, 13 as well. So overall, his clone is not supposed to be used for pressure, but more so for mix-ups as well. You try your best to regain as much hit as possible by landing clones on hit, and this is what makes his hit so good, right? As long as you land clones, you will stay in hit, you have so much pressure and so many mix-ups as well. I really love this aspect about Raven's hit, right? Not too overpowered, you have to be smart about it, but the opponent as well will be like, they'll be very hesitant to press buttons because of these freaking clones, bro. Like, there's just so many clones, it's insane. So compared to most of the characters' hit, Raven's hit is actually really good, honestly. I really slept on this mechanic, but it's really good. Of course, we did see some showcase from GDCR and me at the Evo Tekken 8 showcase on just how good that clone, you know, the hit clones are. So it's really good. I can't put my finger on how good Raven is. Like, is it top tier? I know he is strong for sure, just like M Raven, better than M Raven. But like, so many characters have ridiculous stuff in this game. It's not as good. Like, his hit is not as good as like Paul, you know. Devojin seems crazy as well. Lisa seems crazy. Jesus, like, there's so many insane characters. It's like crazy hitmakers. Even Laz's hit is mad. You know, I always talk about Laz. So overall, it's too early to tell how good Raven is, but everyone says that he's a very good character. His mix-ups are scary. Like I said, the best full crouch mix-up in the game, maybe even just the best mix-up character overall in the game, but you have to be smart. You don't get everything for free. It depends on how your opponent is respecting you, right? You have to make hard reads. So anyway, guys, that's what I really wanted to talk about with Raven. You know, like, dude, like, everything about him I find is just so appealing to watch. Like, the clones on the screen is just so fun. You know, he's a very, like I said, he's a very difficult character to play, which makes it satisfying to master him, you know. But I won't only be playing Raven. If you guys know me, you know I play so many characters. I will cover content for more, you know, other characters as well. Like, I love Steve, I love Laz. I'll do guides for all 3. But the content you might see more is Raven. So expect a lot of Raven content going forward. So thank you so much, guys, for taking the time to watch my video. I hope I was just not rambling, you know, but I just wanted to express how I feel about Raven, how good I think he'll be in Tekken 8. And I really hope you guys give him a chance as well, because it's really great. So you guys, thank you so much for making it this far in the video. If you did, please don't forget to that like button and subscribe if you're new. Helps me keep in touch with helps you keep in touch with my content as well. So yeah, teaching my boys, may the frame data be ever in your favor.